What's up, guys? Tony Ramirez here, and welcome to the garage. If you're into turning wrenches, fixing up cars, or just keeping your ride in top shape, you're in the right spot. I drop real-world tips, no fluff, just what actually works. So hit that like button, smash subscribe, and let's wrench smarter, not harder. All right, enough intro. Let's jump right in.
Hey everyone. In today's video, I'm diving into a question that many of you have asked. How much does a driving license actually cost? I'll break down the expenses involved, from the application fees to the costs of lessons and tests. Whether you're a first-time driver or just curious about the process, I'll provide all the details you need to budget for getting your license. So, let's get started and find out what you can expect to spend on this important milestone. Find the best garage near you. See garages a driving license makes it easier to get around, both professionally and personally. However, this precious credential comes at a cost, and can put a strain on learner drivers' wallets. How much does a driving license cost? What measures have been put in place to make it easier to pay for the exam? Find out in the article. How much does a driving license cost? How much does a driving license cost in France by department? How can I reduce the cost of my driving license? Find the best garage near you. See garages. How much does a driving license cost? How much does a driving license cost at traditional driving schools? The price of a driving license varies from one department to another. According to UFCQ Choicer, the average cost of a driving test is €1,155. This price includes training and examination for the highway code, 20 hours of driving, application fees, practical driving test. Generally speaking, learner drivers take more driving hours. In France, an average of 15 hours are added, bringing the cost of a driving license to €1,804. How much does an online driving school charge? The excessive cost of driving hours at traditional driving schools has contributed, among other things, to the emergence of online driving schools. Thanks to this concept, learner drivers can reduce the total cost of their driving license by at least 30%. Online driving schools offer packages for less than €800. These packages include training and examination for the highway code, 20 hours of driving, practical driving test. In addition to the 20-hour package, students can take additional driving lessons. These cost €39 per hour for each of the above online driving schools. This rate decreases according to the number of hours chosen. However, it should be noted that learner drivers who choose to take their driving test through an online driving school are not required to take the test themselves. This means they'll have to take care of all the administrative formalities themselves. How much does an automatic gearbox permit cost? More and more learner drivers are turning to automatic gearbox driving lessons. It's less expensive than a manual gearbox license, because the number of compulsory hours is lower, 13 hours instead of 20 hours for manual gearboxes. The average cost is €700. If you have an automatic gearbox license, you will need to complete 7 hours of training at a driving school before you can drive a manual gearbox. How much does the accelerated driving test cost? The accelerated driving test gives candidates the opportunity to take the theoretical and practical driving test in less than a month. The cost of an accelerated driving test is much higher than that of a traditional driving test. It generally costs €700 more, or €1,900 instead of €1,200. How much does an accompanied driving license cost? Accompanied driving allows you to gain driving experience before taking the test. It multiplies the chances of passing the driving test, as statistics show that 75% of candidates who opt for accompanied driving obtain their license on the first try, as opposed to 52% with traditional training. It costs between €1,100 and €1,300. How much does a driving license cost in France by department? Depending on the department you live in, the cost of a driving license can be higher or lower. Here are two tables showing the average cost of a driving license by department. These rankings were drawn up by the UFCQ Choicer Association. Department Tariff Paris €2,140, Haute-Savoie €2,129, Yvelines €2,104. Haute-Seine €2,055, Essonne €2042, Department Tariff Territoire de Belfort €1,468, Nord €1,484, New Caledonia €1,551, Gard €1,578, Pyrenees Orientals €1,589. Good to know. There's nothing to prevent you from registering with a driving school or as an independent candidate. In a department other than the one in which you live, in order to pay less. Find the best garage near you. See garages. How can I reduce the cost of my driving license? Find the best garage near you. See garages. Mechanical guide. Driving license tips and amp tricks. How much does a driving license cost? Driving license prices. Driving license costs. Find the best garage near you. See garages. In conclusion, the cost of obtaining a driving license can vary significantly depending on your location, the type of license you need, and any additional fees for tests or training. On average, you might expect to spend anywhere from a few hundred to over $1,000. It's essential to research your local requirements and budget accordingly. Remember, investing in a driving license not only grants you the freedom to drive but also opens up new opportunities in your personal and professional life. Thank you for watching, and safe driving.